Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at the Kanger Nebox. I'm very excited about this review, and I also would like to thank Banggood for sending me this for review. Banggood is a pretty neat site. I'm also going to be providing a link to this on Banggood. It's $58.42 with free shipping. Underneath it, I'm going to provide another link to their weekly coupon deals page. Also, Banggood is a pretty incredible website. They have a lot of stuff, including quadcopter gear and things that fly and things. I have a buddy at work that gets all his quadcopter stuff at Banggood, so check it out if you've never heard of them. Really good site, reliable, dependable. They are in China, so it does take a little while for that stuff to get around the world, but it still gets there pretty quick. And again, shipping is free. Now, with all that out of the way, let's talk about what you came here for, and that is this killer all-in-one mod, or box mod. I love these all-in-one devices. As a matter of fact, I have two others here. These are the E-Grip and E-Grip 2 by Joytech, and I love these type of devices. You don't have the big tank sitting on top. Everything is integrated into the unit, so it just looks neater, it looks cleaner. I really like the concept, the design of these all-in-ones, and if you notice, a lot more of these type of devices are coming out. They used to be sort of a niche market. So what makes this one stand out amongst all the others? Capacity. 10 milliliter capacity. That's an awful lot of capacity. So you could put a great battery in a device, but if it's only going to hold 3-4 mils of juice, you still have to deal with that if you're a heavy vapor sometime in the middle of the day. 10 milliliters, if you're vaping that much, I don't think there's a box for you that'll get you through the day. But if there were any box that can do it, it would be the Kanger Nebox. There are a lot of other reviews of this device because it's been out for quite a while, and yes, it's also referred to as the leak box. But guess what? This video is going to be a little bit different because not only am I introducing you to this device, but I'm going to show you how to fix the leaking problem. So let's see what you get. Here's the box that it came in. Very nice presentation, by the way. Kanger always does a good job with it. That's where the device was, minus the drip tip. I already have the Delrin Drip Tip in there. And underneath it, oops, you'll find a lot of documentation. A note here about priming the coils, getting them wet before you start, which is always a good idea. Also, you have these stickers, and what that sticker is you could put this sticker on the battery because your battery sort of will show through their Kanger logo right there. So if you don't like the color of your battery, you could go ahead and just put this sticker around the battery where it would come through. You get a very well written manual. It's brief and to the point, which I like, and it has nice pictures that are color. So if you're the type of person that just likes pretty pictures, you got it. You also get a charging cable. What else do we get? We get some organic cotton, and we have a screwdriver, a couple of coils, a couple of screws right there. Yep, looks like 2 coils or 1 coil. It's hard to tell. Looks like 1 coil in there. What else do we get? We have an rebuildable coil or atomizer right there. I'm not going to get into too much detail. You have to remove that screw to open it up, and then it looks like there's a coil already installed in there, but you got to still wick it with the organic cotton that's provided. We're not going to be really doing that today. And we also get another coil down here. This is the stainless steel one. already installed out of the box was the nickel coil. So that's everything you get with this starter kit. As with most Kanger devices, they do produce these in different colors. You could get this one in black, white, which is the one you see here, the blue, and the red. Now you notice there's no tank on the top. All you have is the removable Delrin Drip Tip. You could put your own drip tip on top if you'd like. You have a aluminum or aluminum alloy type of body. You have your tank built into the device. 10 milliliters. By the way, that's not glass, that's plastic, which is there's good and bad to plastic. The good thing is that it won't break as easy as glass, and that's a big deal because it's an integral part of the device, so it's not like you could just simply replace it. So that might have been the way to go. I have not noticed any deterioration of any sort with any kind of juice, but I've only had this for a couple of days. The bottom, well actually, let's get to this side right here. You have your fire button right here, you have your OLED screen, and you have your up and your down button. They're not marked, so to go up on the numbers, like for instance, we'll go ahead and go up. You can see right now I'm in temperature mode, so let's make the temperature go up. I hit the down, it makes the temperature go down. And on the screen you have your battery, your wattage setting, your ohms, and your voltage. And I'm going to hit the button and you can see it do its temperature control kind of thing. You also have a micro USB port right there for charging if you don't want to remove the battery, which, here's the first con, is a big pain in the butt because you got to use a coin. I'll go ahead and remove that here shortly. You also have this right here, which is what you use to remove the head. And I've already filled this up with juice because, you know, this is a review. I'm going to test it. So you can see right there, there's your head. Backwards compatible to a lot of the older Kanger style atomizers, along with others. Anything that fits most Kanger devices, modern ones, will fit in this. So check that out. You can see your little air stem right there that sort of meets the atomizer that goes up to the Delrin tip. And you don't need any special tools to get this open or closed. Your air comes in through the bottom, so if you blow into this first, it's going to come out the bottom, so if you have your hand over it, be careful, don't burn yourself. This is not the first device to do that. Now, for the battery, you have to use a coin. This is a con. This is a pain in the butt. It's not the easiest to get in and out. I wish they would have made a finger removing ability to that, just like they did with the coil. Unfortunately, they did not. So you have to unscrew this, and you got to get it out pretty far before you could go ahead and get a purchase on that with your fingers. And there's your nice spring-loaded cap, tail cap, lack of a better term. And then the battery's in here. Make sure you use a battery capable of handling 60 watts because this could go up to 60 watts. So positive side goes in first. It is a tight fit, so you really don't have much rattle going on there at all. And like I said, it's tough to get going because you got that spring tension. So I noticed people who've had this device for a while will definitely scratch all the paint off the bottom of this from removing the battery over time. So, you know, you're going to start seeing some wear and tear from removing this battery. And those threads are fine, so it takes a lot of turning to get that in there. Alright. So other things. This is, of course, temperature controls you just saw right there. You could also go into variable wattage mode. The device can handle all the way down to 0.15 ohm coils, so that it can get pretty low, so you're definitely sub-ohming. By the way, the 18650 battery that you saw in here is not included. And really, that covers all the physical attributes of this. I'm going to go over some of the menu items. Again, there are a lot of other videos out there, so I'm not going to go through every single one. But to turn this device off, you just click it 5 times and it will turn off. Now, while it's off, there's a menu you could access to sort of change some of the settings, like flipping the screen and things like that. So what you do is press the up and down button, and it will bring up a menu where you could change some of your memory settings. You could have preset settings that you could program in there. And you can see M1, M2, M3, M4, and then it goes to M5, M6, and then you could set it up so you could flip your screen. Now we'll go ahead and turn this back on. We'll do 5 clicks. While this is coming up, which it comes up pretty quick, in temperature mode, this can handle either nickel or titanium. Now it does come with a stainless steel coil, but that's for variable wattage mode. Now you can access some of the special menu settings by hitting the fire button 3 times. And you sort of wait a little bit, and again you could go ahead and start selecting one of the menu items. And you can see how I can go through them all or go to variable wattage mode or exit. And I'm going to keep this in the nickel setting. You can see that second one is titanium. I want to stay in nickel because that's the coil that came pre-installed that's in there now. Now another menu you could access is by holding the plus and minus button, not holding, but pressing the plus and minus at the same time. Go ahead and do that. Whoops. Let's do that again. A little bit tricky to get in. Maybe it's press and hold it. There we go, it's press and hold it. And it brings you into the memory setting there. And we could go through M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6. So you could go into any of your memory settings and just change it if you'd like. I don't want to change it, so hopefully you'll get out of there, maybe. Maybe not. Alright, so I'm going to have to redo my settings. You could see, you could start it off in Celsius or Fahrenheit, depending on where you want to go with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit M2. And now I'm in 60 watts at 600 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not where I want to be. So to change that, I'm going to, you got to like press and hold. No, actually, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I'm going to just start hitting the low button. You can see you can go in 1 degree increments, or you press and hold, it'll start going in tens of degrees. It's kind of a little slow. I'm going to bring it down to 450. For wattage, I want to get it, right now it's at 60. I want to get this down to about 42 watts, because that's where I have been vaping, and I really like it right there. So let me see, how do I get that? Was it, I'm trying to remember how I did this. There we go. So you press both buttons and let go right away, and you can see now you've got your watts setting. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down. So when you're in temperature control mode, this is like your initial hit, and then the temperature control will regulate that wattage from there during your vape. So we're going to go ahead and get this down to 42, because 42 is the answer to life, universe, and everything. And there we go, 42. Then I'll hit the fire button, fire for a second, and now I got my temperature there, which I wanted at 450. There we go. Now, another thing this will do is when you put a new coil in there, it will sense that you put a new one in there, and it'll ask you whether it's a new one or the old one. You hit the up button if it's a new one, you hit the down button if it's an old one, but it shows it right there in the menu. So very simple to use. Just read the instructions or watch one of the many videos out there. Now let's talk about the leak box. Yes, out of the box, this is a leak box. It leaks. What will happen is you'll start vaping on it, and you'll think everything is fine, and this is getting nice and hot, you know, as you're vaping, and then you'll put it down. And when you put it down and things cool off and things contract, all of a sudden, right out of that bottom air hole, it starts leaking juice. And you'll pick it up and it'll be all wet. Fortunately, there are a lot of crafty people out there, and somebody figured out where it's leaking and how to fix it. So let's go ahead and take a look on how to do that. The first thing you'll do is remove the head, which is on the bottom. There's your head. And the problem that we're having is juice is basically just passing through there and leaking out the bottom when it cools off. You use it all day, it's hot, and then as metal contracts as it gets cold, then juice will start bypassing the one O-ring that's inside your atomizer head. That's sort of right inside there. You can see the little silicone ring. So what we want to do is provide another seal. Now the way that a lot of people are doing it is, you see that post right there for your air? We're going to add a O-ring inside. So what we want to do is get a 510 drip tip and remove the O-ring from it. Preferably this is one that you no longer use. If you happen to have an O-ring, you could go ahead and just use it if you have something that's sort of similar to that. And then we're going to put it on this post. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pan down so you can see me try to do this. I'm going to try to get this on camera as best I can. And I apologize if you can't see. I'm going to go ahead and just pop this on my tweezer here. And I'm going to go ahead and just sort of work it around there. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I nearly dropped it in there, is I'm going to use this tooth pick thingy and just sort of work it on like that. You can see how it's slowly getting on there. Then I'll go ahead and push it down. It fits loosely, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and switch hands, so hopefully you can see me just sort of push that down. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you can see what we have now. So now what we're going to have is a second seal. We're going to have the seal that it already has, that it seals around that post. That's there. And now we're going to have another seal around the top. And together, those two seals should prevent any further leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this on. As so. And then I'm going to go ahead and vape on this a lot and then let it sit and see if it leaks anymore. I just wanted to quickly show you the O-ring right there through the window. So you can see the bottom of the atomizer there, and you can see the piece of metal support, and how that O-ring is now between the head and that support on the air tube. So there you go. It's not really too hard to fix now, is it? I have not met a perfect device ever, and quite frankly 90% of the tanks out there leak. Now for the NeBox, again, easy fix. I've already been vaping and filled this up with some Johnson Creek Peachified. If you want a peachy day, this is the stuff from Johnson Creek. And I'm going to go ahead and take a vape. Cloud production, vapor production is really, really good, especially for an all-in-one device like this, because these are not made for cloud chasing, yet it does produce an extraordinary amount of vapor once you find the right setting. The other thing is flavor. That's where this guy really, really, really excels. This all-in-one box, and I've tried others, being the E-Grip, the original E-Grip, and then the E-Grip 2. They're really good, and they do have their pros, but this guy beats them in flavor. Trust me, this thing is a flavor machine. As a matter of fact, I got to get another puff on this. Very, very good. Ergonomics, very good feeling. Nice rounded right there, so it sort of fits your hand. It's a little bit on the large size for these all-in-ones, as you can see for the 3 that I have. Here's the E-Grip 2 right there. You can see how it's taller, but not actually. It's about the same width. It's so it's a little bit bigger. It's about as big as I like to get for my everyday carry. But wow, this thing really does feel good in the hand. So let's go over the pros and then the cons, and then we'll wrap things up. For one thing, capacity. That is the #1 pro. If you're a heavy vapor and you want a device that can get you through the whole day, this is the one. This is absolutely the device. Second, again, awesome flavor. You are not going to find another all-in-one that has the flavor that this guy has. And #3, all-in-one design. If you don't like that tank sticking up on the top, you just want a nice, pretty, handsome device that will make all your vaping friends envious. This is it. It looks really cool. And remember, you got all those other colors, the black, the red, the blue, as well as this white. Cons, you shouldn't have to fix a manufacturing defect, or not a manufacturing, but a design defect. Unfortunately, this guy, they just didn't provide enough seal between that air stem that comes down and the atomizer. So you got to add that extra O-ring in there. Very simple to do. Once you do that, the device is perfect, or near perfect, because there's no such thing as perfect. Other cons is there's no adjustable airflow. You didn't hear me talk about it, did you? So you have no way of adjusting airflow or juice control. You don't have any of that in this, but that's not really the target audience of this. This is for someone who, you know, just wants to vape, doesn't, you know, get into the serious tweaking and all that stuff. And it really does provide a really good draw. Now, you know, as far as mouth to lung, you know, you're going to have to regulate that with your lips. And the setting that I have, if you're trying to pinch down on your lips, it's going to be pretty hot on the settings that you just saw me set here, which is 42 watts at 450 degrees. It's really meant for full lung hits. It's not the most open device, but it has just the right tension for me. And I know a lot of other folks like the airflow in this as far as the amount of resistance that it does provide. I think it's the perfect airflow, at least for me, but that's kind of subjective for what you like. And the last big con is the battery. You know, getting that battery in and out. I mean, you could just charge it externally and not mess with it, but you got to have a coin with you, and you're going to have to go through all that to change the battery. So that's kind of the last big con. So if you're interested, please support Banggood. They sent me this for a review so I can bring this video to you. Really great site, and you should check out all the other stuff they got there. They're like another Amazon or another GearBest. They just have an extraordinary amount of stuff, and I didn't know that they carried vaping stuff. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find it on their site. I wish they sort of brought it up front a little bit to make it easier to find. They're a great company, and it's not just my experience. It's the experience of some friends that I personally know, not just through the internet, who orders a lot of stuff for their quadcopter, and they never told me of a bad experience with them, so that's another good thing going for them. I hear a lot of good things about Banggood. It's a funny name, Banggood, but they're definitely a good site. I'm going to take one more draw on this before we wrap it up. Very good. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Viewer Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.